Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I'm sitting here trying to force myself to finish working on a playlist that I found a bunch of music for, but I just had another thing on my mind as I was searching through IG just now, and I saw that French Montana was in some part of Florida doing a music video. French Montana is a MC out of New York. He was doing a music video outside of a restaurant, and someone in the area, I guess it was a parking lot setting, someone in that setting decided to rob somebody else, or pulled up and started robbing one of the dudes in the music video, and it escalated to a bunch of people being shot. 10 people were shot, including Rob 49, who's an MC as well, rapper. I'm not familiar with him, to be honest with you, but that is what took place, man. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I think I am familiar with Rob 49. I might have a couple songs of his from a playlist I did. I think I actually do know who that is. But nevertheless, it's he was shot. He's in stable condition, man. And prayers out to him and everybody who was involved in that, of course. But this is one of them situations where I was looking at whether it was said, and you never know what really causes what. But they said that somebody dropped the location, and that right there could be enough. You know, regardless if you have enemies in the area or if you know the politics of the area or not. When people know that you have a lot in this era, we've learned. LA has taught the whole country this. If not other circumstances, definitely LA with PNB Rock. Do not think that just because you are in a certain neighborhood that's sunny or nice and pretty like LA or Florida, that it is not areas where poverty is prevalent and people are bold. You know, it's a bold time. People will take it upon themselves to go get it, whatever it is. You know, they're not afraid of anything. So if you're not moving like the president and you got that kind of money, you need to invest in doing so. That's where we're at. If you're going to be flashing and you got all the jewelry, doing all the extras, this ain't the time. This ain't the time. People are hungry and they will rob you. You know, this is that simple. This is not a game. This is not something people should be taking lightly as it pertains to wanting to flash big jewelry and rims and all kinds of stuff that was always known as status standards. At this point, it's like people are mad at the fact that they don't have any access to these things. You know, we've been watching people get to the monies, quote unquote, for many, many years, right? Via all different types of situations. But the thing about it is, over time, what is continuing to happen is people who are getting it are getting locked up. You go to jail. So you don't have a long lifetime out there. And over time, people are understanding how futile it is to do certain things that they've long tried to do to get money. Now people are just getting angry because they're being teased with something they cannot have. It's not the same vibe as 1996 when we see people popping Cristal and bottles and all that. And I don't think that the establishment has come to understand that yet. It's been 25 years and a lot of people have always wanted these things. They never got them. Their whole lives and passed them by. They've been worshiping these flashing lights for 25, 30, 40, 50 years. And some people have never had any chance at them. They watch their grandparents go into their graves without ever having any chance at them. And anybody in their family that reached for them ended up getting 25, 30, 40 years of jail or ended up dead. Over time, the propaganda of you can get rich, but actually you cannot, because every time you reach for it, we throw you in prison. It's getting to a point where people don't want to even, you know what I mean? They're not civil at this point. It's getting to a point where, just like the analogy Tupac used to put out there, the analogy that was going around for a long time, we knock on the door first, then we, say bang on the door, then we kicking the door down, then he coming in and shooting. It's like the progress of what it is he was saying is still continuing. That progression of frustration in the presence of this propaganda, it's just getting worse. I know although there's still plenty of people out there who are hustling and doing whatever they got to do, and plenty of people trying to get through these avenues of sports and entertainment. It's a lot of people out here who've just given up, and they can't wait to see somebody who has it so they can take it from them just off of the strength of the fact that they can't get it. And they've been watching people try to get it for 30, 40, 50, etc. and have never been able to obtain or keep anything. And they sold us this dream for a long time. The big mansions, basketball players, and all this good stuff. But what you end up seeing is how it plays out for a lot of them dudes after a while. Some of them big names and big stars end up on the street sometimes. They end up in situations where they're working at your supermarket after years. You've seen these things play out now. This is not a new thing. We watched so many generations fail. So many generations fail. And it's like at some point in time, you just realize that the poverty and the overall embedded torture of having that, just you wake up every morning and never nothing. It's a lot of people out there who are living that way who just don't, they don't have any more compassion for flashing. That's what it really comes down to. There's no compassion for flashing. And people don't like that anymore. And it's one of those situations where if you got it, you got to hold on to it with your life in certain cities, in certain situations. When you live that way and you look to flash your light, your everything against somebody else, you got to know that there's going to be people in the corners who are going to be plotting, waiting to try to ruin your day just off the strength of you doing that. So that's what I've come to understand. That's why I don't really respect some of the things that many do. We talk about classism and all these different things, people exalting themselves for money and putting forth a certain level of importance as it pertains to money. I think from where I'm sitting, it's flawed when you measure certain things. It doesn't tell the truth when you prioritize it the way that people do. So it is what it is, man. I'm looking around and I'm watching what's happening with the situation with El Chapo's son. I think most people are probably vaguely, if not very familiar with what's happening there. I don't know how it's played out. It's been many hours and I ain't checked, but apparently they arrested this dude somewhere in South America. And now his gang coming back to make sure that they get him back. And this is one of them situations where, I don't know if you can expect a different reaction when you do certain things, and the timing of certain things and the way certain things are done just makes me think that it's not about anything other than making the reaction occur. And that's what happens to me. When you take a guy like that, they're gonna tear the city up. You know that. If you're not gonna do it a certain way as to where you have secured all of these avenues, then you're just asking for war to be waged on the streets of innocent people. And I know that there is a way where someone could do that and then make a lot of money off of it, or bring forth that type of fear and then make a lot of money off of the fear. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be a lot of different things. And so as I look at stuff like this, I just say, this brings me back to the same old thing I felt about when the pandemic hit. It's the same thing I said about the environment being just almost willfully neglected in regards to how you expect people to behave when you tell them to do certain things or tell them to expect certain things. It's like cause and effect, man. If you're going to tell everybody they're going to expect to be in their house for 3 weeks, they're going to run to the supermarket and prepare to be in the house for 3 months. That should be what you expect. They're going to take everything off the shelves for themselves, and some people were surplus, just like we saw. That should have been expected. That it wasn't makes me ask, either were the people in place just not, did they not have that rolling around in any of their minds? Or was somebody who had that in their minds looking for that to take place and allowed for it to happen? I'm one to believe the latter. And so when I look at this situation, I don't think any different. You capture that man, you had better lock down the city, get all the innocents out of the area, lock down the airports and all that. All of that should have been done before you even captured that man. But the fact that they didn't do that just makes me think they wanted the chaos. So that's how I look at it. And as far as everything else, man, this is a strange world. And the more I learn about leverage, the more I learn about what it takes to make somebody move, what it takes to make somebody actually think you're serious. I understand
extreme nature in which they move. I don't co-sign it, but I get it. And it ain't no different than the government's move. When they decide they want to take somebody, they're going to move you around. When they want to put soldiers on the street to lock down everybody, they'll have a soldier outside of every door. It's no different. If you're going to go up against an establishment like that, you got to be willing to have that type of leverage. And as sad as it sounds, you got to be willing to do crazy stuff or they ain't going to move. They're not going to move. And a lot of what they do is they back by the law. You know what I mean? They may not be moving in extreme ways like some of them guys do on the other side, but again, we talk about what it takes to make somebody move. You got to scare the hell out of them. It's the only way it works. They taught us by buck breaking us for 400, 500 years. I know what works. You understand what I'm saying? So when I look at that situation, I've been taught to fear them. Fear them. They're the worst people in the world. And they're doing what they have to do to stand their ground against an establishment that's backed by law. See, this is what I understand. Black people have never done this. We've never took back nothing from the government. We never would, because we've been docile to the point where they've trained our minds to never think that doing so makes any sense at all. But if you actually want something done, that's exactly how you have to move. And they know that. That's why they try to suppress anybody who will tell you that. Because they want to keep harmony, but they also want to cheat you. And they know that they will not give you back what you've earned unless you do exactly what them people are doing. And I think that's what our children are learning right now, which should scare all of us. See, they don't understand. The propaganda machine is something that most of our kids see straight through. It's satire to a lot of them. They're not fooled by the stuff that they think they're fooled by. Some of the stuff I tell you about in this camera, like, oh, the middleman, our kids get it. They literally get it. And they're thinking around in a lot of cases. And what they're looking at is people who are showing them examples like the cartel, how to get things done. I'm telling you, I know what they're looking at and I know how they're thinking. They're thinking that way. They're playing Call of Duty and they're saying anything I want, I can take back. This is just the beginning of it. What we're talking about as far as robbing people on this Rodeo Drive and robbing rappers while they're doing videos, it's the beginning of it. People are tired of being tired. And they want things to change, and they see people not gaslighting, but patronizing them and selling them bullcrap generation after generation that's empty as hell. Politicians that ain't serious about nothing. People putting values on human beings that don't even make no damn sense. Exchanging basketball players for warlords. Do you think this doesn't have a trickle-down effect as to suggest why the hell someone would take this far to try to get their guy back? You don't think those two things are related? Don't be stupid. They are. They're definitely related. So that's how y'all want to play Western world? Or you exchanging basketball players for people? And now y'all want to take El Chapo's son? You think they ain't going to shut down the whole city? Are you crazy? Think about it. You just showed them 5 minutes ago what you were willing to do. And you're going to take their guy. Yeah, right. Stop playing. This is what I'm talking about. This is the same establishment that will hide behind the law as if they're not in cahoots with the same underworld that those other guys are. They're in cahoots. We know they are. When you start tracing everything, you know it's all connected. You know these people can't move without each other. So one of them's backed by the law and the other one's got no influence to guide the minds of what it is they're doing away from the evil that it actually is. It's the only difference. They move the same way. And so we have to start looking at it that way. Normalize looking at what they say is extreme as what it is that they do. It's only extreme because they don't want us to see that it is what they do. It's hypocrisy. That's what it is. They respect blood. They respect all that other stuff. And they want you to stay docile so they can keep you that way. And it's good that you do, because we don't want to be in blood and tear each other up. But don't be confused about what it takes to keep it going. Don't be confused with what it takes, what they're willing to do if it gets too far. They move like that. Think about it. Anytime you do anything, they put you away forever, as they selectively want to. I was listening to KK, this rapper. He released a statement. They gave him 55 years. 55 years for something he did, but he was 16 years old. And the people he was with got different looks. They had a different look and they got a different look. 16-year-old girl, part of his situation to whatever degree, she got 10 months probation. They said her mind wasn't developed enough to be, choosing to do the things that she chose to do in that crime. But him, same age, more of a specific role, same age, different logic as it pertains to his brain. He's a grown-up. Same age, different skin. So I'm supposed to ignore all that. They selectively choose how they want to treat people. It's not, you know what I'm saying? The Western world don't care nothing about that. They will take the leverage of the way they see it. If you're worth something to the people, you're worth something to the people. It's white right, white's right. Okay, it's what it is. It's gay right, gay right. Okay, they're gonna get the favor here. It's black right, all right, black's right here. It's 2021. Yeah, it's Black Lives Matter. We're gonna give them a little more than that. Like, this is how it works, man. It's all just a bunch of bull crap that sways with the wind, and people are tired of it. People who are starving, people who don't have a lot of power, people who don't own anything. They know a lot has been taken from them. They're gonna take it back. That's what you're seeing there. You're taking it back. Start thinking about why people are so horrible out there. It's because they're in poverty. It's because they're in poverty and they've been treated horrible for a long time. They've had some long nights where they didn't have nothing. People died. They cried out for help and come. You understand what I'm saying to you? So it's like, I want to turn my attention to understanding certain things that I've been told not to pay attention to and completely fair. Not to say that I want to go anywhere near those things, but I know those who tell me to stay away from those, or stay away from those who are leveraging against them in these wacky ways, are very much engaging in wacky ways from behind the law. And their norms that we're taught to not think twice about, but they're throwing 15-year-old kids away for 55 years that they give 10-year-old girls 10 years of probation for. And this, my friends, is why I understand what they are up against when they do the wild stuff that they doing. Absolute wild stuff, shooting at planes and stuff, trying to get their guy back. Because they know if the government wants to get their guy back, they ain't going to be shooting at planes. All the planes stop. You understand what I'm saying? They just stop the airports. They ain't got to shoot nothing down. They control them. But if you don't control them and you need such leverage, how do you do it? By extreme measures. This is not supposed to be taught. We're not supposed to think this way, because if we think this way, then they expect us to move that way. It's if we can't tell the difference between we should and should not do that. That's not the point. We need to know how they act. And we need to know why others act the way that they do. It ain't just because a serial killer is crazy, nothing. It's because this is how you have to move against an entity that governs and polices itself. And we use all kinds of collateral damage behind the lines of being, within the law. We do all kind of stuff. Starve people, keep information from people, thus creating environments that are unsafe, thus that lead to people dying, and then we'll put them people in a courtroom and blame them for the environment as if they created that environment themselves. I know what the cartel is up against, and that's why I know exactly how they move and why they move the way they do. No. We all do. We just don't look at it that way because we taught not to. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.